Hi, Mike here, and in this short video I wanted to run through, show you a quick issue that I discovered or came across when editing media or creating a video in Camtasia. And you know what, I spent hours going through message boards, and in the end I had to actually send an email to Camtasia support, TechSmith. Took them a day or two to get back to me, and simple answer to my issue was no, you can't do that. So you might have run into this as well, and it revolves around creating a quiz on the timeline in Camtasia. Okay, just some simple something that you can and cannot do. So I already imported my media here. This was just a review that I did of one of the wireless mics, the Ceremonic mic, wireless mic system that I actually use for recording. But so I already have that in here. Obviously easy to do, right? You go to media and click on plus and import. So I've dragged that video here into the timeline. But if I want to, for example, create a quiz, okay? So there's two different ways you can actually do that. You might already know this, right? So if you wanted to, just check some learning at the end of your video or your production, or even let's say throughout, let's say you have different chapters in your video. So let's say at the end of chapter 1, you just want to put a quick little 1 or 2 questions in there, right? And upload that to, let's say, an LMS system. So the only issue that I ran into is that, you can't actually separate your quiz when you add it as media or to media. So this is what I mean. Okay, so if I actually go to here, put my quiz, let's say somewhere over here, right, in the timeline. Okay, so I'm moving that to about 1 minute 20 seconds. If I click on, let's say, add quiz to timeline, okay, my quiz here on the top right hand side, let's say just a quick true or false question, okay, and I'm just going to put something that I already had in here. So, what's the maximum range? Misspelled that. Maximum range for your Ceremonic wireless mic system, maximum range is 75 feet, which is not true, right? So that's actually false. Okay, we can display feedback, correct it. I'm not going to go through all that. You probably already know this. So that's all well and said. So 1 minute 20, I've got that quiz, right? So as this video plays, when somebody comes across to 1 minute 20, that quiz is actually going to pop up, let's say if it's uploaded into an LMS system, okay? All right, now that's all okay. So if I actually want to move that to maybe a little bit sooner, let's say just to check if somebody was actually paying attention while watching this video, I can move that to here, let's say about a minute and no, I don't know, minute 5 seconds, right? Or I can put it to the end of the chapter, doesn't matter. So this is mobile. You can move this quiz around to wherever you actually need it. Now, my issue ran into this. If I wanted to, let's say, move this quiz to the end of this timeline, okay? So, or sorry, to the end of this actual video, for example. So what I would do is click on selected media. So what it is, basically, it's selecting this part of the video, right? Or if it was here, then it would be this part of the video. So it would be placed or attached to this section of my video. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the actual screen resolution right now. So selected media, and again, we'll put a true or false question, and we'll change the spelling here. So what's the range, maximum range? Okay, so there I have quiz number 2. I'm just going to put it at the end of, let's say, the first media here. Okay, so there we go. There's my quiz. So that's my second quiz, actually. So this one is all fantastic. I can move this around as I wish. But what happens if I actually have to start chopping up, let's say, this section of my video? And I need to actually move this, but I want the quiz, let's say, for example, to, oops, sorry, not that one, this one, the second one. So let's say I need to chop this up, right? Maybe separate this media, for example, or maybe move this somewhere a little bit down the timeline or even closer to the timeline, yet I want that quiz to stay here. The problem is now that I've attached it by using selected media, okay, on the top left-hand side, that quiz number 2 now is attached to this section of my media, regardless of whether it's the first section, third, fifth, whatever the case is. So anytime I actually move this, so for example, like let's say I'm extending this now somewhere here, and I wanted that quiz to stay where it's not going to. And you know what? The crappy thing is there's no way to. So if I click on quiz, there's no way to do so. Again, one question might not be terrible, right? You can actually just highlight this and copy and paste. But when you have, let's say, 5 questions, right, or 6 or 10, or just even a couple, just copying and redoing that whole quiz, or sorry, that quiz in your video is going to be a pain in the ass. So there's really no way around that, right? So if you attach it to selected media and you need to move that quiz somewhere, the only way to actually do that is to delete it, unfortunately, right? So click on that, delete, and you'll have to add it as the timeline as this one, right? So it's good and bad, depends. It depends if you know that, let's say, this will always be the end of a specific section or chapter, and regardless if you move it or not, that quiz is going to say, then that's fine, right? But if you want some flexibility, or you don't know exactly how that video is going to turn out, what edits, changes need to be actually made into that, then you might want to stick with the timeline one, okay? And that you can pretty much drag to wherever you want. Right, so I hope that helps. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a whole slew of other videos, some issues that I've ran into when editing Camtasia videos. Feel free to subscribe, and I hope to see you on the next series of videos. All right, thanks for watching.